I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. Listen, there's some things that are going on. You know, I did a piece last week about Lawrence O'Donnell from MSNBC called Tucker Carlson from Fox News a liar, and that he lies for a living. I went through the entire week. So I figured that Tucker Carlson being called a liar publicly on MSNBC by one of its news anchors would respond. And so I watched Tucker Carlson the entire week last week, and Tucker Carlson didn't even mention it. The man called him a liar before his mama, before his family. Lawrence O'Donnell called Tucker Carlson a liar. He didn't say anything about it. Now, some of you may or may not know that the Dominion vote counting company is suing Fox News for $1.6 billion. That Fox News was pushing what they call the big lie, that the election was stolen, and that Lawrence O'Donnell is now saying that Tucker Carlson, Marie Bartiromo, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Jeanine Pirro, and a bunch of others knew that the election was not stolen and offline, and with their text and email communications that have now been given to Dominion, and Tucker Carlson and every other news outlet that's liberal is posting it up, that they really hate Donald Trump, all of them. But they were lying because the bottom line was if they didn't support Donald Trump, the listeners, the viewers of Fox were going to go to Newsmax or One America News, and they were going to lose their mega billion-dollar audience. So they kept lying, even though they knew it was a lie. And this is what's been documented in court documents. This is not something that's hearsay. This has been documented in court documents. Listen, by the way, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't care if the cow kicked the calf. I'm not for MSNBC. I'm not for Fox News. I'm not for either one of them. Reason why I'm going to bring this up, the reason why I looked at it last week, is because I'm wondering how any man can let another man go on television night after night after night and call you a liar, call you a paranoid schizophrenic, call the company you work for a liar, say that all you do is lie, and you are silent about it. That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know, the same as, listen, I didn't have a dog in the fight with Will Smith and Chris Rock. I ain't for Chris Rock. I ain't for Will Smith. If you slap him again, I don't care. In fact, Chris Rock can get up there and monologue about Will Smith's wife. I ain't got no dog in that fight. I ain't got no dog in that fight with Chris Rock and Will Smith. I ain't got no dog in the fight with MSNBC and Fox News. I ain't got no dog in the fight with Lawrence O'Donnell and Tucker Carlson. But I'm just looking at what the hell is going on. Why did Chris Rock is taking a year now to defend himself against Will Smith. Why is it? Is it going to be a year from now before Tucker Carlson defends this honor, before Sean Hannity defends this honor, letting MSNBC, Lawrence O'Donnell, and every other news outlet call y'all liars, that you lie for money, that it's a lie, that ain't a news organization, it's a lie, and that all of y'all scared the hell of Trump. Now, I'm going to bring up a segment, you're going to watch it. But I ain't got no dog in this fight. I'm not here rooting for Fox News. I'm not here rooting for MSNBC. I ain't rooting for them. I don't care if the cow kicked the calf. As a reporter, I just, and into the news, what's happening politically. I said, I just want to take a look at this and see what y'all think. Anyway, what I'm going to do is ask the engineer to bring up last night's session, Lawrence O'Donnell going at Tucker Carlson's family jewels. And Tucker hasn't said a word about it. I mean, this is, I down in North Carolina, we used to play the dozens, Your mama was this, and I did that to your mama, and your mama this, and mama. They call it the dozens. This is deeper than the dozens. What Lawrence O'Donnell is doing to Tucker Carlson ain't human. Okay, Mr. Engineer, I said enough. Go ahead, roll that clip.
Well, on January 6th, late at night, after the Trump violent mob attacked the Capitol, Tucker Carlson said, Donald Trump is a demonic force. That is what he said that night in text messages revealed in the Dominion Voting Systems lawsuit against Fox. We now know that in the dark of night on January 6th, Tucker Carlson said something about Donald Trump because of the attack on the Capitol that Tucker Carlson has never, ever, ever dared to say to his audience on TV. Tucker Carlson said about Donald Trump that night, he's a demonic force, a destroyer. Tucker Carlson knew that these text messages, those exact words, were going to be revealed to us this week. Tucker Carlson, like everyone else at Fox, knew this was coming, and they knew exactly when it was coming. The Dominion Voting Systems Company has used subpoena power to obtain Tucker Carlson's text messages and his emails and Rupert Murdoch's text messages and his emails, along with the text messages and emails of everyone working at Fox. Dominion Voting Systems Company has forced Tucker Carlson, very much against his will, to testify under oath in a deposition about the lies that he and Rupert Murdoch and everyone at Fox pushed about the 2020 presidential election, and in particular about the Dominion voting systems. When you're in civil litigation like this, you get subpoenas that require you to produce documents and records in a few weeks on a particular day, or to show up to testify at a deposition at a very specific time in a couple of weeks usually. You always know what's coming in civil litigation, and you always know when the transcript of your under oath deposition is going to be made public. There are no surprises on the calendar of civil litigation. It is a slow but sure.
I just pause just 1 second. The third part of it is, as I said before, I got no fight, no dog in this fight with Will Smith and Chris Rock. I ain't got no dog. They can slap each other and cuss each other and MF each other until the cows come home. I ain't got no dog in that fight. I ain't got no dog in this fight either. But while Tucker Carlson is silent as a church mouse, if there's such a thing, why is Donald Trump not saying anything? Because Donald Trump has been actually the focus of this. And if Tucker Carlson has called Donald Trump a demonic force, what's Donald Trump going to say? Is Donald Trump going to do the same thing that Tucker Carlson, act like it doesn't happen, act like it? And this is going to get deep. There's a whole lot more here that you're going to hear Lawrence O'Donnell say about Trump, about Tucker Carlson, about Rupert Murdoch, about a whole bunch of them out there. But, okay, Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson called Donald Trump a demonic force, and Donald Trump going to let that hang out there in the atmosphere, and he ain't going to ring it in, he ain't going to talk about his mama or something? I mean, this is, you talk about cable InfoWars. It is on. And I'm not here promoting either one of them. I just figured you want to know. If you don't know. Let's listen to some more of it. Lawrence O'Donnell, the boy up there, Boston, Massachusetts. Go out, Tucker Carlson. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
And predictable assembly line of fact collecting. The Dominion Voting Systems Company has revealed everything that we've been learning this week in a brief that everyone involved in the litigation, everyone at Fox knew was due to be filed in court this week. And because Rupert Murdoch and Tucker Carlson knew exactly how they would both be exposed this week, because Tucker Carlson knew that he was going to be exposed, as he was last night on this program, for describing himself in writing as paranoid and crazy. Those were his words. Those were the words Tucker Carlson used to describe himself, because Tucker Carlson knew that by 10 p.m. last night, he would be revealed on this program to have said, I hate him passionately, about Donald Trump 2 days before the Trump mob attacked the Capitol, because Tucker Carlson knew all of this was coming out this week.
Now, the other thing here is that this was reported the night before, that Tucker Carlson said that he hates Donald Trump. He didn't just hate him. He hates him passionately. I know people are telling Trump that this is what's going on, that Lawrence O'Donnell is putting all this stuff out there in the street. And that Tucker Carlson would say he hates Donald Trump. not just to hate him, but I hate his living guts. I hate him. Is Donald Trump going to let Tucker Carlson talk about him? I mean, what is all of this? What is going on? And obviously, what Lawrence O'Donnell is smart enough to do, and I'll have to tell you that I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have a dog in the Will Smith, Chris Rock fight. I don't have a dog in the MSNBC, Fox News, or the Lawrence O'Donnell, Tucker Carlson fight. I ain't got no dog in this fight. But what I do want to say is this, is that how is it Donald Trump going to let his name be put out? What Lawrence O'Donnell is using is documented, court certified under oath and penalty of going to jail. Lawrence O'Donnell is only reading from the transcripts of the depositions taken in the hearings leading up to the April trial between Fox News and Dominion voting services. So he's not making any of these things up that Tucker Carlson says he hates Donald Trump. He's not making this stuff up that Tucker Carlson said Trump is a demonic force and a whole lot more you're going to. This is all in emails and text messages that Tucker Carlson was sending back and forth between the rest of them scallywags over there at Fox News. All right, Ms. Engineer, go ahead.
He and Rupert Murdoch came up with something to talk about this week on Tucker Carlson's show, since everyone at Fox is terrified of saying a single public word now about the biggest news story that has ever engulfed Fox, including the sex crimes of Roger Ailes, who used to run the place, the sex crimes that forced him out of his job, and the sexual assaults in the workplace by Bill O'Reilly, who used to occupy Tucker Carlson's exact time slot at Fox. The only reason Tucker Carlson has a job tonight is that sexual predator Bill O'Reilly went down in flames at Fox, which at the time was the biggest damning story about Fox News in its history, a story that has been outdone. Those stories are smaller and less damaging to Fox than the story we are covering this week. And like all stories that damage Fox, Fox does not breathe a word of it to their audience. What Tucker Carlson found to talk about this week and to lie about this week was the January 6th attack on the Capitol, thanks to Republican Speaker Kevin McCarthy doing something that's never happened before in Washington history, handing over 40,000 hours of Capitol Police surveillance video of the Capitol campus, which includes 7 different buildings, including the Capitol. All of that to one person, to Tucker Carlson, personally. Kevin McCarthy could have released that video to all major news organizations, but instead, he chose Tucker Carlson and only Tucker Carlson to get those videos. And so this week, Tucker Carlson has shown his audience what he found in that video. He showed video that we've never seen before.
Now, this is going to really get you. First of all, what's up with Kevin McCarthy? What's up with him? He's about the weakest spineless snake. He's a slithering. I've seen snakes with most. I've seen, pardon this if this offends you, I've seen snot running out Bo McFadden's nose had more spine than Kevin McCarthy. What the hell is going on with the Republican? I mean, listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, this might offend you as well. If it offends you, please forgive me. I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just trying to be creative and want to take advantage of the literary opportunity that is afforded us and want to be as graphic as I possibly can, and I want to leave no stone unturned. So if this next statement offends you, please forgive Pastor Manning and love me still. Love me tender, love me still, all right? Just forgive. But Marjorie Taylor Greene's got more balls than Kevin McCarthy. What's going on with that boy? And here's the other thing. This gonna kill you. Lawrence O'Donnell is going to say Tucker Carlson got 41,000 hours of video footage, and yet he can only find less than 4 minutes of so-called peaceful activity that he could show to the. This is going to kill you. I'll let them tell it yourself. Listen there.
None of the people inside the Capitol in those videos, all of whom were committing a crime just by being in the Capitol, they committed a crime by climbing over that fence that was blocking the Capitol that day. And then they committed another crime by entering the Capitol building itself. So every one of those people on the video that Tucker Carlson says is innocent, every one of them is guilty of a crime in that video, but they are not beating police officers in the video that Tucker Carlson shows, even though they were still committing crimes in that video. And as I just told Alex, the total amount of new video that we've never seen before, that Tucker Carlson showed on his program for the last couple of nights this week, has amounted to less than 4 minutes. That is less than 4 minutes out of over 40,000 hours of video, and nothing in the 4 minutes that Tucker Carlson has shown has told us something that we did not already know. Nothing. 4 minutes. In the same shows where Tucker Carlson has been exhibiting these videos, Tucker Carlson gave much more time to this guy to talk about his spiritual awakening. Seriously, Russell Brand got more time on Tucker Carlson's show for the last 2 nights than the entire 40,000 hours of video that Kevin McCarthy gave to Tucker Carlson. And that's because Tucker Carlson found nothing in the 40,000 hours of video that contradicts anything that we already know are the facts of what happened on January 6th. For the first time in their political careers, Republicans in Washington have found something to criticize on Fox, thanks to Tucker Carlson's lying presentation of less than 4 minutes of video, which Tucker Carlson has exhibited. After Mitch McConnell criticized Tucker Carlson yesterday for showing that video and lying about what happened at the Capitol, Tucker Carlson said this last night.
Why is the New York Times doing like a 9-part series on how Mitch McConnell got so much money from China? But they would never do that because he's on their side. It's so great.
I got a, what is it called? The fashionista, right? I want to ask a question. I've been the one who want to ask this question for quite some time. I've been asking it myself. I'll ask y'all because I figure somebody out there must know. Where does Tucker Carlson buy his shirts from? Who dresses that boy? I mean, his shirts and ties are antithetical to. I mean, when that boy put on a shirt and a tie, it looks like the North and the South Confederate War again. I mean, the Viet Cong and the Vietnamese. But what? Who? Does he purposely dress like that to make people think he's? For instance, that boy, that line, George, drag queen, dog killing, George Santos. That guy lies. That guy puts on a sweater like he's preppy, like with his big ugly self. That line, George Santos. Ever see him? He got that sweat on. Well, that's preppy. That makes you look like you're preppy. But does Tucker Carlson dress like that on purpose to make people think he's kind of like down, like he's really kind of, he's not hip, he's honest. What the hell is it with him? I mean, I can't believe that a girlfriend or anybody would want to go on a date with dressed the way Tucker Carlson dressed, right? His shirts and ties they're against one another. It's like a war. And they sit there. So I figure, what's the word I'm looking for? At any rate, go ahead, Ms. Angel. This is sickening. Go ahead.
I don't know who the demonic forces are in the world. I don't know how they laugh. But I would imagine it's something like that. Tucker Carlson is spending the week lying to his audience that the people attacking the Capitol are sightseers, that's his word, and that it wasn't really a violent event. He shows video we haven't seen before of Jacob Chansley, who is doing 4 years in prison right now for the crimes he committed on January 6th. He was referred to then as the QAnon shaman. Tucker Carlson has hallway video of that man not being arrested by police officers who were nearby at the time. And that was true of most of the people in the Capitol because police had to make the tactical choice during most of the invasion of the Capitol to not attempt to make arrests. but to simply urge people to leave the building and show them the way out in some cases. And so, as one of those videos indicates, one of those police officers appeared to be doing with that guy, showing him the way out. What Tucker Carlson doesn't understand, because he has no idea how police tactics work, is that if a police officer made an arrest in the middle of that situation, the police officer was then taken out of the job of protecting the Capitol, protecting the Senate chamber, protecting the Speaker's office. And that police officer would have to take his arrestee somewhere, even though there was nowhere to take an arrestee at the time. Take him to what? The Capitol Police headquarters, which was dysfunctional and in chaos at that time because the building was being overrun. That is why the Justice Department has spent the last 2 years arresting those people who were allowed to leave the Capitol that day in the Justice Department. FBI is still tracking them down to this very day and still arresting them and will continue to arrest them. On January 6th, Tucker Carlson knew how bad it was. And Dominion's court filing this week shows us what Tucker Carlson was actually saying privately late at night on January 6th in the text exchange with a person whose name is not revealed in the legal filing. That person said to Tucker Carlson, "They take the president literally. He said it was stolen. They believe him. He is to blame for everything that happened." Tucker Carlson replied, "The problem is a little deeper than that, I'd say." The other person says, "But sometimes things are simple. Our job is to react nightly to the news of the day and not deliver a thesis on what ails America." And Tucker Carlson says, "No, our job is not to provide news coverage, not even close. Our job is to explain what things mean." And so there you have Tucker Carlson putting in writing that his job is...
My concern is this, is that why is it that Dominion... why is it that Fox News, I mean, they've been suing for $1.6 billion. They can pay it, even though, you know, they got money now. If they have to cough up $1.6 billion plus punitive damages, could be any amount, could be more than the punitive damages could be a whole lot more than that. But let's say, for instance, just $1.6 billion. Why haven't they settled? I mean, why is it that Fox News is not trying to reach a settlement? One could argue because Dominion voting doesn't want to settle. And that could be true. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of that. But if they had settled, none of this stuff would be made public. Probably what Fox News after then, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and all the rest of them, Maria Bartiromo and Laura Ingraham and Janine Pepe, would probably have to go on television and say they lied to their audience. That might be a part of the deal. And that might, I suspect, that's why they have not settled, because Rupert Murdoch is not scared of $1.6 billion paying that out. He ain't scared of that. What he would be scared of, if that a part of the settlement is you have to, all your people that have lied about Dominion voting services and about, we're going to have to go on their broadcast and publicly state that we lied and that we knew we were lying, but we lied because we wanted to keep our viewers from dumping us the way they dumped Pastor Manning. When Pastor Manning got off the Trump train, all them people you saw calling him, being on his broadcast and coming to his church, they dumped Pastor Manning like a hot potato. They dumped it like he stole something from Mother Teresa. And so Fox News don't want to go through what Pastor Manning went through. So Fox News is trying to hold on to their audience by telling their audience what they want to hear, which Pastor Manning wouldn't do to his followers that have been for him for several years through the Obama years. Pastor Manning wouldn't lie to them. He wouldn't tell them that Trump was a good person, that he was a right person, that he was sent by God. And so they dumped him. So Fox News, they really, the $1.6 billion they can lose. What they can't lose is the audience. They don't want to lose their audience to Newsmax, and Newsmax is waiting in the wings to catch all of them, or One America News. And the other thing is that they, possibly can be sued by a whole lot of other people. Their audience can come out and sue them. But I don't have a dog in this fight. I tell you, I don't have a dog in this fight. But I understand Because when I got off the Trump train, I was left like a picked chicken. I mean, they left me so I was up in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, million views a week. Now I can't get 500 a day. So I know what that's like. Trust me. I know. Listen, Fox News. If you need some counsel, if you need a shoulder to cry on, what the Trump supporter would do to you if you don't keep pushing Trump's lies and his hypocrisy, come talk to me. I'm a good counselor. I won't even charge anything. Rupert Murdoch, you want to come? Tucker Carlson, want to come sit down in my office? I will counsel y'all and tell you what it feels like to get dumped by Trump's book. They dumped me. They what the hell? I swear, Lord have mercy, Jesus Christ. At any rate, go ahead. And then came out against me with a whole lot of other stuff. Anyway, so go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
Not to provide news coverage. And just to make sure there's no confusion about what he means, he adds, not even close. Rupert Murdoch has known that from the start. That's why Rupert Murdoch put the word news in the title of that business that he created, because Rupert Murdoch knew that the word news was a lie. And if he did not put the word news in the title of that business, no one would ever think that it was even close to news, just like Tucker Carlson says, not even close. Our job is not to provide news coverage, Tucker Carlson said, not even close. And then Tucker Carlson said, Trump has 2 weeks left. Once he's out, he becomes incalculably less powerful, even in the minds of his supporters. My view is that the most important thing we can do, maybe the only thing we can do, is to try to save the things that make America worth living in. For me, that begins with the First and Second Amendments. And the other person says, agreed. I just worry in those 2 weeks' time and the time after that, he will inspire people to do even more stuff to put those rights in jeopardy. And Tucker Carlson says there's no question he will. So there's Tucker Carlson saying on the dark night of January 6th that he believes there is no question that Donald Trump will do even more damage to the country. And Tucker Carlson believes that Donald Trump will somehow find a way.
At this point in time, I figure, okay, all right, so you're going to keep supporting Trump because you need the viewers. Fox News could lose $1.6 billion, but if they lose that audience, they can't get that money back. And once money starts hemorrhaging out the back door, and you don't have an audience, you don't have My Pillow guy, you don't have other people selling products on yours, you're going out of business. But my question is this, is that wouldn't it be better to just let Fox News go, out of business rather than, if you know that Donald Trump is going to run America out of business? I mean, if you think that Donald Trump is a demonic force, if you think that he is going to destroy America, but because you need his viewers to make your billions of dollars and pay them great big old paychecks they get over there at Fox News, yet you think that if you keep supporting him, he's going to destroy America, but you're willing to be a part of the destruction of America, and you believe that Trump is a demonic force. There's something sick as hell about that. I mean, if that's what they believe, and it's in affidavits, it's in depositions, it's court certified under oath what Lawrence O'Donnell from Boston, Massachusetts is saying. This is not hearsay. This is actually emails going back and forth that have been now taken in by the depositions. What Tucker Carlson was saying to some of this other, Rupert Murdoch, they were all saying to one another. But my question is this. Well, I've already made the question, so I'll double down on it. Where does it end? If you know that Trump is going to destroy America, Pastor Mann has already told you he's tribulation Trump, then, I mean, would that not be a better story to tell than to tell the so-called big lie? This is weird. It's weird. That old man, Rupert Murdoch, but even Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity, they all weird. I don't think Sean is as weird as Tucker. I think Sean is, why doesn't Sean just retire? You know, he's still doing that radio, bro. What's wrong with that boy? I'm sure he's got millions of dollars. Where's all that money going to get paid $40, $50 million a year? What's he doing with all that money? He's still doing a 2-hour broadcast. Then he does an hour broadcast every night, never takes a night off on Fox. He's been doing it for years. What's wrong with Sean Hannity? He ain't got enough money? What's wrong with him? I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Engineer, how much more of this we have left? I'm getting pretty sick of this. I'm sick of looking at, like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight, but I can't figure out whose face I despise looking at more, Tucker Carlson or Lawrence O'Donnell. They both look like they've been put in a, anyway. Go ahead, let's listen to see what else he got to say. I don't know how much more I want to listen. I'll listen a little bit more if I don't like it. I'm going to shut it down.
Damage the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. Tucker Carlson says, there's no question he will. Those are his words. That's what Tucker Carlson said. And then Tucker Carlson said, he's a demonic force, a destroyer, but he's not going to destroy us. I've been thinking about this every day for 4 years. You're right, says his friend. I don't want to let him destroy me either. The Trump anger spiral is vicious. And Tucker Carlson says, that's for sure, deadly. There's Tucker Carlson using the word deadly to describe Donald Trump. Tucker Carlson has spent every night this week on his show telling his audience that the January 6th attack on the Capitol was not deadly. Tucker Carlson has leaned on that word deadly on his program repeatedly to insist to his audience that there was nothing deadly on the attack on the Capitol. But on the night of January 6th, on the night when he's texting his friend, Donald Trump is deadly, Tucker Carlson can feel. He can feel what deadly means. And he is saying that what Donald Trump does is deadly. Tucker Carlson said about Donald Trump's anger spiral being vicious, that's for sure, deadly. It almost consumed me in November when Sidney Powell attacked us. It was very difficult to regain emotional control, but I knew I had to. We've got 2 weeks left. We can do this. It was very difficult for tiny Tucker Carlson, the tiny-minded Tucker Carlson, to regain emotional control from his fear of the deadly Donald Trump and his fear of the crazy lawyer Sidney Powell.
Let me ask you a question. Now, Tucker Carlson, somebody's got to show Tucker. I'm sure he's seen it. I'm sure he just said, well, I don't want to see what Lawrence O'Donnell had to say. But some of his aides would say, but you got to listen. You got to see this. You just can't. You got to know everything, even if you don't like it, even though you don't respect Lawrence O'Donnell, so that you won't get up there and say something that will be antithetical or contrary to this whole process. So you got to listen to it, Tucker. You got to sit down and listen to it. I mean, what kind of man, even for billions of dollars, will let another man call him Tiny Tucker? And all the other things he said about him over the last 10 minutes. What kind of man would do that and then get up on the show on the next night and act like Lawrence O'Donnell doesn't exist, none of this ever happened? And by the way, what about Tribulation Trump? What about Donald Trump? Tucker Carlson called Donald Trump a demonic force or beast or whatever. How do they do that? Is that what it's supposed to be? Is that what it is to be a Republican? That people say these things about you behind your back, and you get somebody pulls your coat to it, somebody tells you that's being said about you, and you just, to say keep making money and keep well, I don't care what they said. I guess you go with that old adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can. I said, I don't know, maybe you can do that. By the way, listen, I gave Tucker Carlson another name. First of all, I call him Tucker Coward. That's what I call him. Hold on a second. I call him Tucker Coward. But what was his mother? I understand Tucker Carlson was born rich. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Maybe that's why he wear all those, if you plaid necktie, look like he's going to a boys' school somewhere or a girls' school. I don't know. Anyway, so I call him Tucker Coward. But what kind of parent wakes up after giving birth? I mean, what kind of father? Your wife, she struggles, that baby's, 8 pounds and you're almost close to death, or water breaks. She gives birth to a son and you name him Tucker. I mean, what the hell is that? Who names anybody Tucker? Especially if you have to, you have to be a part of the Arapaho Indians or something, got mixed up with some of the white folk coming over on the Mayflower, and you ended up with a last name called Tucker. Okay, you live with that. But a boy named Sue? I mean, my God, I'd rather Johnny Cash and a boy named Sue than a boy named Tucker. I don't, anyway, maybe that's why he's so weird. Maybe the word Tucker was a prophecy. This boy gonna be weird. He gonna let Lonzo Donna slap his mama, castrate him, talk about him like he's a dog, and he ain't gonna raise his voice to defend his honor. I don't think anybody like that. I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't really care one way or the other. But I don't think anybody who's that integralist should have a nightly broadcast talking to people about the millions if you don't have no integrity, man. If you don't stand up for your own self, you ain't gonna stand up for nobody else. Anyway.